Доброго времени суток, дамы и господа. Мы начинаем проходить Disco elysium. Решил я поиграть в эту игрушку. Почитал пару рецензий, посмотрел пару роликов. В общем, посмотрим. Не знаю вообще, что игра, говорят, РПГ. Диалоговая. Так. Выбрать архетип. Мыслитель, медиум, спортсмен. Создать своего персонажа. Так, мыслитель невероятно умен, плохо в общении с людьми. Знает много интересных фактов, мыслит нестандартно. Медиум психологически обязательно не равновеш. Угу. А если вот так? Угу. Энциклопедия внутренней империи. Координация. Так, надо подумать, надо подумать. Что дает инт? Ладно, другому. Мыслительные способности, насколько вы умны, чувствительность, насколько вы эмоционально восприимчивы, сила, моторика. Способность. Давай мыслитель, посмотрим. Демоны ярости живут в зеркалах. Они здесь как дома. Даже в самой прозрачной воде можно утонуть, если она глубока. Неплохо.
There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. You're conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
Вау.
Ever. Never, ever. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. Yes, it is. You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing. I know you do, baby. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. All right. Nothing town to fuck all borough. Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that type of animal are over. The song of death is sweet like a fly to the ointment. Your conscience sticks to it. The bone-headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting. The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open.
Somehow, you know what it is. A Caprice Canema motor carriage.
Ладно. Ебать. Мгм.
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says whirling in rags on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on. The whirling in rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers.
Мгм.
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fist, hot water sprays from the base and steam covers the mirror. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it. Where to even begin? There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath. It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers. Bet you are. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it. It doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either. Behold. You have no
Nice.
idea who this thing is, do you? Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. Oh my God. You can't stop. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? You are correct.
Похуй поначалу.
It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and for Revachol, your city. That, if it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, you have some understanding of the near history of disco. The rest is darkness. Aside from the useless fact that the motor... Some 20-odd years. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the... It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne cork smile whenever you want to.
Ладно. Угу. А чё лежит? Ой, он не кликабельный. О.
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades.
Так, с вентилятора свисает 2 выключателя цепочки. Ладно.
This fan has two chain pulls. A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain. The lights are off. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap, what you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds
Мгм. Вау. Мгм.
the window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
Мгм.
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something. The single green shoe you found fits the hole almost as well as your foot. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now the cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold.
О, level up. Ёб твою мать. Ам. Так, в смысле? Все могут только это? Как это работает, я не понимаю.
The fan stands still.
О, так, ладно, сейчас, секунду. Так, короче, я прочитал, есть временные бонусы, есть постоянные.
A terrible mistake. Your eyes burn with photosensitivity. It's
М,
not good.
Позитивно. Мгм.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
О, я куда-то вышел. Ладно, пока странно. Ебать, что за яркость.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well. You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking. Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks tired, her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
Hmm.
Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask questions. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes? It's 51. Yeah? You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world.
Forever and ever.
And ever and ever. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the hair on the back of your hand standing on end. It feels as though
The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say there was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, a slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of the time. Yes, there was a church in there, a really small church, like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And all that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what. Yes. It was very.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this time. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it. Glad to have been of assistance.
Hmm.
The door is closed.
Ладно, пока не будем трогать. Нам и так помогла. Так. Опа. Угу. О, сам по себе зеленый. Надо в другой подойти. Не спит.
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John. You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room. Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring loading. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. He remains silent. The worker isn't the man does not mind. You probably need them more.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait.
The worker is...
Ладно, надо к бармену, очевидно, сначала подойти.
A man in his late 20s. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big fan. Make some small talk.
No, I'm not the bartender.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird looks like the bird was ripped off. This is the great skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now. The small steel tag says as much. The great skua. Stegosaurus skua.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird.
No, I'm not the.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here. Not. She just, you know.
His eyes dart from left to right. This man isn't lying, but he is.
So now you're a cop. Oh, forget it. No, I'm not the bar.
He's very animated.
I have 3 cafe. She just.
His eyes dart from left to right.
So now you're a cop.
A competent looks like this is the great skewer. The small steel tag says as much.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him? Okay.
He pretends not to hear you. A competent looks like this is the small steel tag.
Look, your why don't you go and talk?
He pretends.
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up or... Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of... The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. Somewhere inside. Still no answer. Still nothing. Still nothing. The fan stands still. The switch must be broken because nothing happens. The switch must be broken because nothing. The window stands broken. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's... The door is closed. Still nothing. This door can only be opened with... You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast oceanic soul. Utterly. And it through a PA by other people. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're... Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Who is mistakenly... You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. Serves them right. Wipe that... You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one up... Who is mistakenly identified as... There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green like two baby crocodiles. It's pretty clear a norm good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good.
Нормально.
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back. The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia, pining. A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is as you approach, he narrows on the sleeve of his bomber jacket as well as on its back are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath.
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Good. But even if have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body is where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle...
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever.
The man with the unimpressive beard noticed.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
What? What is this? A joke to you? Is this what you...
Sir, I understand your concern, but
Yes, of course.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call.
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually...
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
You said you just got here. From where?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't...
I didn't imply that.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more.
Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing to do with this. Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching. Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back to what I was doing. I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
Ах ты, сука. Нельзя засейвиться. Ладно.
Oh, you don't owe me shit. Well, officer, you're right.
We do not need to assert ourselves here. We only need instructions from him. This is the proprietor, remember?
You know, I get this all the time. Some hobo comes in here or some backpacking arsehole off the boat. The next day, when they can't make their... Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you... Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. What are you, brain damaged? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or 8 bottles of potent blend and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use... Yes, it is. No, you see, that's 40 cents. Cents are a form of currency 100 times smaller than
The cafeteria manager, isn't it evil? The order of magnitude between what is asked of a person and what they have.
It does, doesn't it?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant...
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't...
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away. Officer, you really need to take this up with your station.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is... But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. You don't really know, do you? A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. The door is closed. Still, nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. bed is cold and not
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night.
Пам-пам-пам.
the worker is in a deep slumber.
No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistic. Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do.
The worker continues to nap.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? You rascal. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are...
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yes, dear.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from...
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway. Of course, dear.
Before you stands a motor. Vapor emanates from the large end. This must be the infernal machine.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here. Of course. What can I help you with? Of course. Where to? Oh, that.
Even all the way over here, there's a drop of death in the spring air.
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings,
Mhm.
some more tenements. Not a lot. The harbor gates. Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. What do you mean? We're in Martinez, sir. This intersection is called Round. Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the just coast. There's a little fishing village there and a fish market. It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inn. No problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight.
Of course. Where to? It's there. In the yard.
Even all the way.
No problem.
She's very well.
Of course.
If there's a corpse, then you're going to need those gloves for the autopsy.
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
Так, интересно, пока очень интересно. Ладно, давайте на этом закончим. Всем спасибо за просмотр и всем пока.